I'm thinking of you, Seth, and I'm thinking Sanford Panitch.
Sanford Panitch.
Was that?
Oh yeah, I don't have a microphone in my hand. He wasn't. No, he wasn't in our world that much. Honestly, it was. It's an amalgam of many people. I would say we did work at Sony in the early aughts, though, and so yeah, there was many personalities at Sony at that time that I think inspired us in a lot of ways. Yeah, definitely.
I think the Catherines are the two halves of Amy Pascal. Which you have a lot of explained.
I didn't study anyone. I went by the script. My own interpretation. Yes, no, I did not study anyone. I will not be accused of such
Great answer. No, it's great.
I have very specific names. No, I don't. I'm like her. You have it's a tapestry, if you will.
You could play if there was the Amy Pascal one-woman show. You're starring in it.
Fine. Sold. She's really represented.
We're both Amy Pascal?
I think we're both Amy Pascal.
All Amy.
I think we are.
It's like Spartacus.
I'm Amy Pascal.
Of course, the player kept going through my mind. Talk about the nod to Griffin as the head of the studio.
Yeah, Griffin Mill is the Bryan Cranston's character, who's like the CEO of the company, and that is Tim Robbins' name in the player. And I don't know if in our heads is it in the same? Is it the same guy?
Sure.
Yeah, it's the same guy in our heads.
That is breaking news.
We never once talked about that.
Talk about why it's a great time to turn the camera on ourselves again on Hollywood.
Because we love selfies.
Because we need attention.
At this point in time, motion picture executives are really scared. They don't know what really works. This weekend, like Mickey 17, they thought, okay, let's get behind an Oscar guy. And let's try to, let's spend $100 million.
Did Mickey 17 not do well?
Yeah,
I gotta go.
Yeah. Oh, no. Mike.
Quit the industry now.
You invested. I think we gotta quit the industry. You invested.
I'll say this. Panic in Hollywood is not new.
Yeah.
This is an age-old tradition of people freaking out and losing their jobs.
Yeah, there's maybe like 1 year between like 1935 and 1936 where people are like, we can make anything and people will see it. But like, yeah, like we came up, we started 25 years ago and there was always a sense of like, what the fuck is going to work? What do you bet on? What do you not bet on? And I think the people who have had great success are basically like the better gamblers than the people who don't. And the people who try to apply rhyme or reason or logic to it, I think are the ones who find themselves in this game of making like movies that are just kind of based on known things that are often not good and they don't pan out the way that they would hope they would. But like, yeah, I don't think, I've never met a calm person in Hollywood. I mean, we had some frustrations in the industry, I guess you would say. And we're finding that, things have changed and evolved, and there was questions of like, were the types of movies that we came up making, are those the types of movies that studios would still make? And if they did, are the types of movies that still would do well? And I think we were kind of like, longing for days of the past a little bit, and that to us became a very interesting theme. Is kind of just like, and we became better friends with a lot of people who work at studios over the years, and saw how comedic their job is as people who genuinely like movies, but are forced to make them worse often out of self-preservation, and so that was just like an entertaining job to us,
I've been writing movies for a while, so I've been in a lot of note sessions with studio execs, and I've been very lucky. The majority of them are like Seth said, they're funny, nice people who truly do love movies and are in a rough position. There's definitely a couple who I would say are of the bro variety, and so it's a pastiche of lots of different guys who have managed to not get completely canceled.
First, the scripts were really funny, and it really looked like a fun part to play. And they sold me on it on a Zoom too. Just their enthusiasm.
We're very good on Zoom.
Yeah,
Great on there.
Bad in person, good on Zoom.
Out of the screen.
No, you didn't seem to. You didn't seem to care as much in person, but on Zoom it's good. Very enthusiastic. Thank you, Chase, for holding this. I love that. Thank you. On paper, really funny. And then I don't know, the betrayal and trying to understand it. I love talking to Ron Howard about it. He said, I asked, what's it like really when people are fired like this and it's all over the news and you know it and then you see them face to face? How do you act like, oh, nothing happened? And he said, I always congratulate them. He's a positive man. Yeah, because they get to do, at least like someone like Patty, she's getting to do now what she always wanted to do. You know, it's like Maddie, Seth's character too, wants to actually make movies, right? Not ruin them. And Patty, I'm sure, got into it that way. And so there's that, but it's also like, how the fuck did he do this to me? You know, there's that, like, whoa, it's like the life's ripped out from under. And lonely too. It's funny you say lonely. I think too. We talked about when we were going to shoot at my house, and we talked about pictures. And I had this idea of, well, I've adopted a lot of children from afar, from other countries, you know. And I have grown-up kids who are they're like, nah, just that picture.
Like you've got nobody.
And I was like, all right.
You live in a big, cool house alone.
I know. What the hell? But yeah, that kind of. I went with the. Not the betrayal so much, but like trying to find my place.
Yeah.
As an actor and as the character, but I embraced it because I really,
Genius.
they were all connected.
Episode 1 to 2.
But they're all really well connected,
Yeah.
and I was kind of like, and you, Chase?
And then
I mean, Seth and Evan and I had early conversations about just being like young in Hollywood and people not really taking you seriously, but you believing that you have very smart ideas that deserve to be heard. And I think my character has like a Machiavellian sort of glint in her eye and a ruthless ambition that I would have like women on the set come up to me and be like, "You're saying what I wish I could say to my boss." And I'm like, "Your boss is Seth and Evan. That's your boss."
Thank God we've established that they can't say that. I'd say it is a trope in Hollywood among filmmakers that studio executives' presence in general makes the filming process harder and slower because everyone says hi to them and there's a little like kind of they roll out the red carpet a little bit and you don't want to be like I can't speak to you, I have to work and so and you do give them their own little video village. That is like common practice on set is you sort of sequester them away from the action and they look at you longingly and wonder why they're there. But no, we've been on set. We were filming something and one of the executives parked their car on like the stake bed of a truck and they had to move the trucks to move to the next location. We were running out of light and nobody knew whose fucking car is parked on the stake bed of the truck, and it was one of the visiting studio executives' cars, and made it that the truck couldn't move, and everyone.
Did you get the shot?
It was a thing on set. It was a real. It happened on something we were filming. Yes.